cow, what's that?
That's for you, from your 2 grandkids.
Holy cow. It looks like it's homemade.
Yeah.
Holy cow, how awesome.
Open it. Open it.
I will.
Wait a minute, Kara, move your hair. There you go, babe.
That's me and Kira. We're going potty.
You are. It's an outhouse. Oh, cool. I love it. I love it. I'm going to put this on the farm.
Other side,
Look
Grandma.
at
He wrote his name
How
by himself.
sweet.
T-R-E-N-G.
Yeah, I see her.
I'm
Remember,
so
I'm
proud of you. Thank
It's a
you.
graduation. And that's my cedar.
Oh, yes. She's one of her friends.
Yeah.
And she said the little girl.
Aw. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Ah,
Yeah, that's from.
that's the best part, that you guys are here. Holy cow. That's what I always wanted, pink paper.
Hi, Charlie.
Wow.
I got to see, so I know what's in there.
Wow, how pretty. Oh, that's beautiful.
There's something else in there too.
I love that.
There's something else on this too.
Oh, how pretty.
It's you can wear either way.
Beautiful.
What is it?
It's for me to put on my chain.
It looks like scales, Mom.
It's got almost like a Egyptian.
Absolutely beautiful.
That's what it looks like.
Yep.
Now that's a pin or a necklace.
Isn't that pretty?
Remember?
I remember this.
Yep.
I remember this.
Yep. Got that from
This is from
Teresa.
us.
That's from you guys? This I'm going to wear because it fits on my little
Yeah,
ring.
good. So you don't have to fix it.
figured.
Get it fixed.
Uh-oh. Kleenex out.
Under that.
Thank you.
Oh, feel better. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got that
Look
one
at
that's
that.
for you.
Inside.
Okay, that's beautiful.
It's a necklace.
It's hand-blown glass.
That's
Look
pretty.
how pretty.
Grandma, do
Is
you,
that pretty?
do
I
you know
love
why
that.
we
That's
have
so
these
different.
teas?
Yeah.
What's
What?
what kind of teas we have?
Wow, I see that.
Do you know what tea stands for?
Huh?
Sounds
Guess
good.
what car we're riding?
The van.
We're riding Scots.
So you're
That's wonderful that we're all going to fit.
So.
What? Just
I think that's awesome.
No, that's next time you work.
Oh.
Tuesday.
But where's Aunt Lori going to sit?
She's
not
gonna
going.
buy her own car because she's not going to go with us. Just to the.
Are you a steak here?
She's going to go out to eat.
We're going out to
What,
eat,
eat
but
with
there's,
us?
I'm a
it'll
dri-
be- but you can't fit in the van.
No, I'm gonna
So
drive.
we're going in
Yeah, she can't
Scots.
come anyway because her.
We're all driving together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's sorely mistaken.
We'll be all right. We're gonna have a good day, right? We're gonna have a good lunch, something yummy, right? Okay, that hot is.
Where you going? We're outside. I can't make those steps again.
Or, I mean, out there, yeah.
Yeah.
But I have it on the set.
It's pretty rare to get rid of home like that.
please take their seats.
Good afternoon, everyone. Look around you. This is a day of celebration and a day of Thanksgiving. We are here to pay particular tribute to our graduates, many of whom have put in countless hours, even as they hold full-time jobs, have families, have a multiplicity of other commitments. We pay tribute to you, our graduates, today, but we remind ourselves, as this wonderful audience can attest, that none of us is an island unto ourselves. We are all the products of supportive colleagues and families, and we who love learning take a moment now to acknowledge the contributions of those who have taught you these past many months. The Spertus faculty is an outstanding constellation of women and men who give of their time to train our graduates. A full listing of our faculty members may be found in the program, but join me now, please, in acknowledging the hard work, dedication, and devotion of our wonderful faculty. Now I would like to ask you all to please rise. It is now my great pleasure to ask a Spertus alumna, Pastor Bernadine Dowdell, to join me at the podium to offer words of invocation on this special occasion.
Good afternoon, Spertus family, and all of the family and friends that are supporting you. This is a day of great joy and a day of celebration, but let us go right to the place where we really rightfully need to go, to give thanks for all that has been accomplished. Everyone, if you choose to bow your heads, please. Good and gracious God, our Creator, Creator of the heavens and the earth, we humbly come before you with great joy and much gratitude. We thank you for this day. We thank you, first of all, for your grace, the grace that you gave to these graduates to make the sacrifices and to be determined to obtain the knowledge and wisdom that was so graciously imparted in them from the Spertus staff, from all the professors and instructors. We thank you for each and every one. We thank you for the perseverance that you gave to each one to come to this day of celebration. We thank every family member that is represented here for your support spiritually, physically, financially, mentally, for every child that had to miss time with a mother or father while they were here. We thank you. We thank you for Spertus College. God bless Spertus College. May it always prosper. May it always be here to train up new leaders for this world. We thank all the professors and all the instructors for imparting their wisdom and knowledge. We ask that your grace be upon each of them. And we also ask for a special measure of grace so that all those who have been trained in leadership here in this place may fulfill their purpose and their destiny. May they go forth striving to contribute their gifts to make their families, these communities, and America a much better place for all people. We thank you for this day. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. Pastor Dowdell for those stirring words. Now I have the great privilege of introducing to you the Dean and Chief Academic Officer of Spertus College, a leading thinker in adult learning, a wonderful colleague, a terrific friend, Dr. Dean Philip Bell.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis. It's always humbling to have applause before I speak, so if you don't like what I said afterwards, you don't have to applaud again. Good afternoon. It's my pleasure as well to welcome everybody here to this very important and exciting graduation ceremony. Since our students are not otherwise busy enough with coursework, personal commitments, and the like, we ask our students to engage in serious reflection and integration throughout their time at Spertus. At synthesis sessions, students work closely in groups to solve complex problems, utilizing all the skills and harnessing the knowledge they've acquired during a number of different courses. During the capstone experience, students write essays in which they reflect on their own learning and its application to both their professional work and their personal lives. These essays are always impressive and frequently quite moving as students take a very serious look at themselves before, during, and after the courses of study. It is in this context I'm quite delighted to introduce this year's student speaker, Teresa Wynn, a member of the June 2008 cohort who will now share her experiences at Spertus as reflected in her own essay, My Path to Helping the Community.
Good afternoon, everyone. As a first-generation American and a member of a household of 8 children, half of whom were born in Vietnam, I recall childhood memories of my older siblings acting as parental figures because both of our parents had to work to provide for our family. They had fled the war-ridden country of Vietnam in the 1970s with few possessions. To position myself for success and to fulfill my parents' dreams of a better life for their children, I went to college and worked to pay for school. Today, I have 10 years of work experience, but volunteering has also been an important part of my life. Over the past 10 years, I have volunteered for the Greater Food Depository, One Bird, Horizons for Youth, and many other organizations. I also served as an English as a second language instructor with St. Joseph's Services. But taking the step to apply to Spertus is one of the most rewarding opportunities of my career. Deciding to attend Spertus was the biggest risk I've ever taken. Yet, in retrospect, the best career choice I could have made. Shortly after coming to Spertus, I was offered a position at a child care center in the Uptown neighborhood. It's true that when you love your job, it doesn't feel at all like work. Today, I work in an organization called Illinois Action for Children. In my role, I have an opportunity to make a difference. Spertus has given each of us here today the chance to make a difference in the lives of others. Through our studies, Spertus has given us opportunities to be exposed to real-life projects, learn grant writing, and even how to write a business plan. The curriculum, it has broadened our perspectives and allowed us to understand how just one grant can mean a new family program or possibly the survival of an entire organization. Today, as I look back at the autobiography essay I submitted with my application to Spertus, I expressed my hope that the Masters of Science Nonprofit Management Program would immerse me in the knowledge I would need to better serve others. I wrote in that essay, quote, "With the help of Spertus College, I hope to make a substantial contribution to the community," end quote. We've all gotten that help. Each of us now has an opportunity to make that substantial contribution to both our communities and to society. Each of the graduates here has his or her own story to tell, a reason why they came to Spertus. But one thing we all have in common is that Spertus has shaped and changed our lives for the future forever. We have also been shaped, not just for ourselves as professionals, but also for those we have the opportunity to serve. Today, we all take with us the hope to fulfill our own aspirations. Now, it's up to us to make that happen. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Teresa. I have the pleasure now of introducing a really remarkable gentleman who will be our graduation speaker. His name is Bruce Crane. I could tell you that Bruce is a fabulously successful entrepreneur who was for many years associated with his family's business, Crane Carton Company, and who helped grow the business fourfold. I could tell you about all of his involvement in philanthropic circles as a volunteer. But I think that I would like to tell you just briefly that Bruce Crane, when he didn't need to do it, stepped up and agreed to serve in a volunteer capacity as the executive director of Streetwise, a nonprofit social service agency for the homeless. Under his leadership, the agency was able to stabilize its finances, implemented a business management system, raised badly needed funds, and improved board development. While Bruce is no longer actively working as the executive director of that agency, he continues to serve on its board, and we're proud to say he also serves on the board of Spertus. His full bio is listed in the program. It gives me great pleasure now to introduce to you our graduation speaker, Bruce Crane.
Wow, thank you. It is truly an honor to speak to you today. I thank Spertus not just for that, but for the work it does every day and the many ways it is improving our world. I thank Dr. Dean Bell and Dr. Hal Lewis for their confidence in me and allowing me to serve with them as a Spertus trustee. It was late at night when I opened the email from Dr. Bell. He doesn't email me often. What trouble had I gotten myself into now? Hesitantly, I clicked. The dog sighed. And I read, "Bruce, Spertus would be honored if you would be the graduation speaker for our Masters in Nonprofit Management program. We think your experience at Streetwise would present some valuable insights." I read it again. Valuable insights. Would that it be so. Thoughts came to mind of the challenge to say what would be meaningful and moving, valuable. I felt I needed to come up with something inspirational. I have a dream rushed to mind. Or a call to action like JFK's, ask not what your country can do for you. Could I do that? Fortunately, the challenge left me because I knew I was not so capable. Hopefully I can do what a commencement speaker did for me. Share what I have learned in a way where some pieces will resonate with each of you and others may come back to mind when they might be useful. I commend each of you for your working to attain this degree, not just for the hard work required or the commitment to yourselves to complete this course, but I commend you for an underlying drive to help others and enabling yourselves to better do so. Society will be a better place for your dedication. Most nonprofits operate in an arena loosely termed social responsibility. Perhaps the most valuable lesson I ever learned, and is a guiding light for me in nonprofit work, came from Ralph Bunche, the 1950 Nobel Prize winner for his work negotiating peace in the Palestinian War. He defined responsibility as seeing what needs to be done and doing it. Pretty simple. For most of what we do in the nonprofit world, particularly those dealing with or delivering social services, we do what needs to be done because others won't or don't. Thus, I commend you. Volunteering has always been an integral part of me. It was entrenched, for some reason, by early high school and solidified in college. It has brought me joy, fun, and self-respect, returning the investment many times over. I suspect the same is true for many of you as well. Throughout my career growing and running a large manufacturing company, I have spent an inordinate amount of time volunteering for nonprofits whose work I value. I have been lucky enough to have many affiliations and serve on many boards and enjoy the enrichment that has resulted. For 15 of those years, I volunteered at Streetwise, first fixing whatever was broken, then building a computer learning center, heading up the vendor services committee, and then joining the Streetwise board. For a few years, Streetwise had well-intentioned, wonderful people as executive directors. But it takes more. Their strengths were not in running a business. As a result, Streetwise slipped into a financial crisis of mounting debt on the verge of insolvency. I was asked to take over as executive director and turn Streetwise around. This is the first lesson I learned. A nonprofit is a business and must be run like one. Otherwise, at best, money and talent are wasted. And at worst, the agency can't continue to exist to do its work. The curriculum you have just completed, combined with your past experience, has prepared you to manage the business side of a nonprofit. Neither neglect that, nor let others sway you from running the business like a business. Most of our agencies or affiliations depend on volunteers, whether on the board, donating to us, or in our daily activities. Thus, we depend on and must work with volunteers. People generally volunteer for two reasons. We enjoy the actual activity we are doing, and we get personal satisfaction from doing so. What those are for each individual vary significantly more than I could have ever imagined. For the volunteer to last with the agency over time, those things must persist for the individual. Second lesson learned. Make sure that volunteers continue to get those needs met. This often manifests itself as follows. Volunteers ask what they can do for us. Put me to work. Resist the temptation to answer the question and instead learn what they like to do, why they want to do that, and pick tasks that are consistent with their constitution, thereby creating the potential for a long-term relationship. I have found that most nonprofits have long-term staff that is devoted to the cause. It is not just a job. Often it comes with under-market pay. And they accept that in return for something that is less tangible. Third lesson learned. Find out what that intangible is for each employee and make sure that their job continues to meet that need through their assigned tasks and gratifications. I have seen all too often nonprofit managers move staff assignments only to see the staff leave shortly thereafter. The change no longer fulfilled their particular underlying need, and they went elsewhere to find it again. The previously accepted compensation package no longer remains so acceptable. Every nonprofit I've been involved with was understaffed. Thus, there isn't enough staff to have clearly delineated functions. There's a lot of crossover and activities that need to be done that don't fall into anyone's job description. Most of the managers I've worked with were task-oriented, instructing the staff on their duties, dispatching their staff to do activities, and creating exhaustive job descriptions or lists to try and cover everything. Sadly, this doesn't work very effectively. Fourth lesson learned. Work to build a culture consistent with your style and the needs of the organization that fosters the values of team, respect, and independent decision-making. In these cultures, as Stephen Covey and Jim Collins have written, people do what Ralph Bunche speaks of. They become more responsible. They see what needs to be done and just do it. If the culture makes them feel good about doing so, they will continue to broaden their areas of responsibility without even being asked. The nonprofit world, perhaps, to a disproportionate degree, deals with the difficulty, hardship, or tough situations of our clients. Anything that can reduce the stress on our staff is a good thing. Anything that adds to the stress is therefore doubly worse. Focus on the positive, especially in performance areas. Deal head-on and specifically with their successes, so they know you appreciate what they have done. Deal much less with the routine errors, which seems to be the natural tendency of managers. Most of the time, when we make mistakes or do something wrong, we know it. If the staff knows that the learning is valued in the culture, all that is usually needed is to privately ask, "What did you learn today about the problem?" Then support them in whatever they learned, even if they didn't learn everything you felt they could have learned. Fifth lesson learned, catch the staff being good. Allow them to catch themselves when their actions are not. Nonprofit boards of directors are often very challenging. Some are populated with inexperienced people, having vastly different motivations, and may have divergent goals for the organization. Work with the chairperson to keep lines of authority and boundaries respected by all. Sadly, I've come to the conclusion that boards can be more dysfunctional when the chair and the executive director don't see this as a shared job, as it can't be done by only one of them. Additionally, the staff need to know how this works and be empowered to support the organizational structure. Sixth lesson learned. Rogue board members are less valuable than the staff. The staff should be part of the team that supports the organizational structure. Pushing a board member's request back up the chain of command is always appropriate when an employee feels uncomfortable. The last lesson I have learned is how truly little I know. It is a complex world, and try as I might, particularly with the social service issues we face, I can't figure it all out. But I believe I can make a difference, one day at a time, one client at a time, one problem at a time. The fact that you each have dedicated yourselves to attain a Master's of Science in Nonprofit Management tells me that this lesson learned is one we already share. What sets you apart from so many others is a quest for learning and skills that can help make you be more effective and productive in your work. the responsibility you've chosen. I congratulate each of you for today's accomplishment, but more so for the underlying character trait that compels you to take responsibility, to see what needs to be done, and do it. You demonstrated that today. I look forward to your organizations and their clients benefiting as a result. Congratulations.
Eloquent, important, and very timely remarks which are important to all of us in this room. The graduates we are about to honor are representative of the exceptional students, committed students that are enrolled here at Spertus. I myself have had the privilege to work with some of them, but I must tell you that all of our graduates have demonstrated important academic skills in completing a rigorous degree program, and they've all made significant contributions both in their personal lives and professional service. It is for me a tremendous and humbling honor to share the stage with them today and to acknowledge publicly all the many things that they have accomplished. Adult students today are complex individuals. They are autonomous and self-directed. They have accumulated a foundation of life experience and knowledge. They are practical, both goal-oriented and relevancy-oriented. And they demand mature and respectful engagement. 21st century adult learners require educational opportunities that are both broad and deep, engaging and well-organized. They require a nurturing and supportive environment in which to learn and to explore new areas of reflection and practice. Adult students often face unique and complicated personal and professional challenges that may derail their studies. But our graduates have persevered, and today we recognize their achievement. In addition to our faculty and staff, who I commend, and the graduates, who we will soon honor, I'd like to extend appreciation to everyone in this audience. For as students and graduates have shared with me, it is friends, colleagues, other students, and above all family members who provide the much-needed support for success. We know how important you are to the success as they reach this new milestone in their educational pursuits. On behalf of all of my colleagues and the graduates, we thank you. Study in Judaism is a sacred act. It brings us closer to God, to others, and to a long chain of tradition. Study allows us to develop an understanding for and a commitment to practice. In fact, in rabbinic writings, the study and acquisition of Jewish knowledge must, by definition, lead to good deeds and to the practice and the will of God. According to one episode discussed in the Talmud, the question was discussed, is study greater or is action greater? Rabbi Tarfon replied, action is greater. Rabbi Akiva replied, study is greater. Thereupon, all of the sages responded, study is greater, for it leads to action. In this spirit, I am pleased to award degrees today to our students, amazing individuals who have overcome constraints and challenges that face adult learners, who have accomplished wonderful things in the communities around Chicago and beyond. President Lewis, on the recommendation of the faculty of Spertus Institute, I hereby present the following candidates for the degrees Master of Science in Nonprofit Management and Master of Science in Human Services Administration upon their completion of all degree requirements.
By the authority vested in me, I hereby award the degrees of Master of Science in Nonprofit Management and Master of Science in Human Services Administration upon the completion of all degree requirements, upon the candidates who will now be called. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the best part of my job. Now I have to do something that is the hardest part of my job. I need your help. It says here, Dr. Lewis asks the audience to hold their applause. That's what it says, so I'm not kidding. To hold their applause until all graduates have received their diplomas. I did it. I asked. It's up to you. I now have the pleasure to ask our faculty marshal, Dr. Mannion, to the podium to call the names of the graduates.
Jael Aguilar. Betty A. Akins.
I don't know who it was.
Lindsay Ayers. Tasia Chanel Bach. Dana Marie Bates.
Yay!
In absentia, Lydia Bennett. Luis Bermudez. Brittany Georgina Renee Brooks. Bernester Brown. Stephanie Eddington. Gabriel F. Bakari. Deborah Ann Gavin Ware. Renat Goffman. Julia Ann Goodwin.
Hey, Julia.
Bridget Henderson. Brian Hauk.
All right, Brian.
Ann M. Quinn. Jerica Lorraine Humphrey. Tequila Cherie Jarrett. Denise Ann Johnson. In absentia, Noya Labby. Tamika S. Lenoir. Alexandra Lipshin. Denise J. Mason. Nita E. Marchand. Laura K. Mesmer. Zevia Feifel Mosbacher. Teresa Nguyen. Latasha Renee Parks. Tamika Rochelle Carey. Jatan G. Pope.
Yeah!
McClinton Elliott Porter. In abstention, Tanya Lee Ray. Brian E. Roberts. Matthew W. Schulte. Maren Siegel. Lavice Darnell Smith. Sharia O. Washington.
He started yelling.
Gloria West. Helen Williams Patton. In absentia, Lorna Wilson. Megan Woodkey. Kiana Young. Dr. Lewis will now join me at the podium.
Graduates, please rise. Along with you, congratulate each. You may now move your tassels from the left side. Ladies and gentlemen, immediately following today's graduation ceremony, you are all invited to please join us on the first and second floors for a reception. But we respectfully ask, please allow the graduates and the stage party to exit the auditorium, and then please join us at the reception on the first and second floor. Dr. Mann?